been having some problems with Facebook Live. I don't know what's going on. I don't know if Facebook did this. I have no idea what's happening. I tried to do this on 4G. I tried to do the broadcast on my Wi-Fi, and it's just not happening. So this is going to be the first live broadcast on YouTube. Anyway, my friends, I do the live broadcasts. Excuse me, I do the live broadcasts on Facebook and I post them on YouTube. So maybe this will be better quality and what have you. Just gonna wait for some people to show up. Oh, there's one person. I don't know who, but I guess we'll see. Okay, my friends. So today I want to talk about the Jewish Democrats, or the Jewish voters in the United States of America who vote Democrat. In particular, I want to talk about, or to them, about how they perceive everything that's going on in the Middle East. And I hear a lot of, honestly, I hear a lot of really, really, really stupid things from them. A lot of what Jordan Peterson would call low resolution comments, ideas, thinking, what have you. I remember just yesterday somebody sent me a screenshot of I guess of a Facebook story. Some, I guess Jewish Democrat posted, and the story was basically something akin to what did he say? Oh yeah, he said, Trump, for all you people that are, that claim that Trump supports Israel, he actually doesn't support Israel. He supports Bibi, and Bibi, is an indicted criminal, and etc., etc., and blah 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 blah. Sorry guys, 1 second, and I just want to 1 second. And the bugs are out tonight, I'll tell you. Just because it's cold here doesn't mean they're not biting. So, and then he said, the Iran deal puts Israel in. Getting out of the Iran deal puts Israel in danger. Not being in the Iran agreement, whatever that agreement is, right? And it's just, and actually, guys, I'll tell you something. I hear a lot of the same kind of rhetoric from Jewish Democrats, and I really sometimes wonder. I mean, apart from the fact that they don't live here, they don't live in Israel. They don't really know what goes on. They don't really know what the Israeli government is doing. They don't really know what the Israeli, let's say, military is doing. All these different operational things and issues. They just have this perception. I don't really know where they get it from. I really don't know where they get it from. I really don't know. I just don't know where this is just generated from. I'm just like at a loss. Like, I read what they're saying. You come to them and you tell them, well, I hope you understand that Trump is the first president to he's not the first president to say he's going to move the embassy to Jerusalem, but he's the first president to actually do it. And they say, well, that doesn't mean anything. It doesn't mean anything to me, and it doesn't mean anything in general. What is this embassy thing? It only serves to inflame conflict in the region, and blah, 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 blah. And I'm just wondering, these are the same people who used to go to the APAC conference, and they used to listen to every single candidate and every single president, not candidate, but president, in particular Democratic presidents, say the same thing, and they used to clap, and they used to be excited about it. And now that Trump, their boogeyman, their the orange man, carrot, bad anti-hero that they think is so horrible, now that he does it, it's meaningless, it's pointless, it doesn't mean anything. If anything, it would be horrible, it would be bad. I'm just listening to these people, and I'm just simply astounded. I'm just literally astounded at it's not even hypocrisy at this point. It's just actually just stupidity, and I don't know, like a self-hate or something. I don't even know how to categorize it. It's so it's just. I'm sorry, guys. You see, I'm visibly getting, frustrated, upset, whatever you want to call it. But it's. I don't know. And then they go on to talk about the Iran deal, and they're like, well, Israel was actually safer with the Iran deal. My friends, I don't know if you know this, like they took a poll of American Jews and they asked them how much do you really care about Israel? I think like 60% of them said they really don't care, or at least 55% said it's not really their top priority in terms of like being connected to Israel or having any connection to the country. I think it's something like 60% said they've never even been here. So let me get this straight. The people that talk the most about or have actually some kind of opinion or share an opinion or express an opinion about the Jerusalem embassy, about Iran, about vis-a-vis the dealings with the Palestinians, about everything that just happened actually with all these Arab countries where actually they said would never happen, and John Kerry said would never happen. These people have never even been here. They talk about settlements. They've never even been to settlements. They think it's like just like some netherworld with like a bunch of people who I actually saw a woman yesterday, some Jewish lady, I don't know, Russian Jewish lady actually, sadly enough, supposedly educated, supposedly well read, traveled to actually this one traveled to Israel, and she said, yeah, all the settlers throw rocks. These rock throwing crazy people, and they're an impediment to peace, and because of them we don't have peace, and they're the terrorists. My friends, I'm telling you, sometimes I really, it's not, I can't categorize these things as self-hate. The only thing I can say is that it's literally ignorance. People who have never been anywhere, never seen anything, or never seen these particular things, and they talk. I was telling a friend yesterday, I have a mantra in life. I have a rule, very simple rule. If you never learned, you never read, you never seen, you never experienced, or whatever you haven't read, whatever you haven't seen, whatever you haven't experienced, whatever you haven't basically experienced up close and personal, extensively, do not talk about it. You have absolutely no like clout to talk about it. You have no credibility. You're just saying things. You're just saying things you read in a headline in the New York Times or in, I don't know, CNN or somewhere, a headline, a byline, a paragraph, some BS article, some half-baked article. That's all you're going by, or some news report on, I don't know, CNN or BBC. That's all you know. That's all you know. That's all you read. That's all you heard. Even if you've been to Israel, you stayed in your little Tel Aviv, quadrant. So one second, guys. Let me put this here so I can properly talk to you guys. It's just I listen to people, and it's just really, it's really astounding. You know, it's really really astounding to me, and yeah, guys, and honestly, I just have a message for these Jewish Democrats. I just want to tell you guys, like, I'm telling you to your face, you guys are severely, severely, severely. Get me off my head. You guys are severely misguided. You guys are really severely misguided. You have actually no idea what the heck you're talking about. When it comes to the Middle East, you guys have no idea what you're talking about. Yeah, my friend's writing. They know nothing about the me mentality. I have no understanding about polygons. Okay. Yeah, listen, I mean, it's really astounding. And then, you come and you tell them, Trump made these deals in the Middle East. Trump actually came to the Kotel, the Western Wall, as the president, not as a candidate, unlike Obama, for example. Open embassy in Jerusalem, recognize the Golan Heights. My friends, I'm telling you, I do marketing for Golan Heights Winery. And guys, full disclosure, the people who run Golan Heights Winery are left of center on the political spectrum. But they will tell you if you ask them, are they happy about this? They will say yes. They don't necessarily like Trump. They don't necessarily even like Netanyahu. But would they agree to Israel giving away the Golan Heights? Doubtful. Do they think it would be the stupidest thing Israel could ever do? Very much so, yes. My friends, I'm telling you, it's just astounding to listen to my Jewish brothers and sisters in America, 75% of them, and it's just crazy. You know what's even worse? Listening to the people who are Torah Jews who don't like Trump. They say, "Oh, he has nothing to do with the Torah and our values and our morals and that." And I'm thinking to myself, like, okay, so the Democrats do. The people who have propped up a lady by the name of Ilhan Omar, AOC, who like canceled her appearance at an event commemorating Yitzhak Rabin. I'm not even talking about an event commemorating a right wing person. I'm not even talking about like Kahana or something like that. She canceled an appearance to commemorate a person who the Israeli left and who every person who, I don't know, likes the Oslo Accord venerates. She canceled her appearance. And these are the people who are the vanguard of the party that you vote for. And you say, well, we don't really support them. We support the majority of the moderates in the Democratic Party. I'm like, show me the moderates. The moderates are kowtowing to these like Bolsheviks, to these like Bader Meinhof gang rejects. Carlos the Jackal, Bader Meinhof, like would-be, I don't know, Sabina flight hijacking retards who have no political experience. Forget about that. Just like, come on, guys, seriously. Like, are you kidding me? Ilhan Omar, AOC, and this is the party you support. No, they're not anti-Semitic. They're not. They're just criticizing it. This woman, AOC, goes to a shul. I think it was on Hanukkah or something like that 2 years ago. She goes, yeah, so I traced back my family history, and there's like Moranos there. I'm thinking, I thought I heard her correctly. I thought she said morons, like Moranos, not Maranos. And I'm thinking, okay, if you're Maranos, do you know what happens to these people? They got kicked out of Spain. And their dream was to go to Israel. They didn't go to Israel. They ended up, some of them actually did go to Israel. They went, you know where? They went to Tzfat. Some of these Kabbalists who got kicked out of Spain went to Tzfat. They went to Israel in like the late 1400s, early 1500s. And they wrote some of those most amazing Kabbalistic works that we still learn from today. So this genius should know that. Some of them went to Turkey, of course, Ottoman Empire, whatever it is. The famous quote from Sultan Bayezid II. How can, excuse me, how can Ferdinand, impoverish his country and enrich mine? We know the famous quote. And if you don't know, now you know. In the words of Biggie Smalls. But my friends, it's just the ignorance is just off the charts. I'm listening to my Jewish brothers and sisters. And you guys are looking for this guy Trump to be like a Jesus figure. You guys, honestly, sometimes I get the feeling you guys are like, you guys are part of like the wrong religion. You're looking for this guy, this leader of a diaspora host nation that we live in, or that Jews live in, called America. Like I live here in Israel, Baruch Hashem, but you guys live in America, and you guys want the president of America to be some kind of a Jesus figure. No. His job is to uplift the Jewish people and our mission. What's our mission? To be in our land and emit light from our land. That's what Rav Kook said. To be a light unto the nations from our land. Ki mitzion teitzei Torah dvar Hashem Yerushalayim. So this person, for all his faults, for all his issues, personal, gaiva, pride, the guy's he's like a modern day Asaph. You know what? He has, out of all presidents ever, maybe all the presidents combined, has elevated Israel beyond your wildest dreams, my friends. Jerusalem, he said, if you want to forget about this whole spiel of the century. Mike Pompeo came out and said, you know what, guys, I told David Friedman to tell these guys in Israel, if they want to annex, it's up to them, it's their land. Or not annex, declare sovereignty. They want to declare sovereignty in Judea and Samaria? Bechavot, please, it's all yours, my friends. My friends, it's just, he's giving us our country on a silver flippin' platter. And you guys are sitting there, oh, anti-Semitic, I'm just, I don't know. I feel like I'm living in bizarro world. You guys are like, your brains have vacated the premises. And now you're talking about we need to be in the Iran deal. Guys, do you know what the Iran deal is? It's a kicking the can down the road deal with the regime. You know that, like, there's a guy his name is Tzvi Yeheskeli. He is a person who went undercover in Europe as a Muslim, as a devout Muslim, and he basically uncovered all of the anti-Semitism in the Muslim community in Europe, in the mosques, right? You know what he says? He said if a vote for Trump is basically, a vote for the Iranian regime, which is basically teetering on its last breath because Trump has basically bankrupted them and pushed them into a corner. That's a vote for Trump to collapse this regime. A vote for Biden is to reinstate the Iran deal, part of which is giving Iran billions of dollars and keep these guys going. Right now they're on life support, and now you're going to revive them. Now you're going to give them like basically a serum, and you're gonna revive them. You're gonna revive their. It's like giving them not just medication. You're giving them all kinds of life and power. It's just really astounding, my friends. And I'm hearing these things from my, Jewish brethren in America. 75% of you off the reservation, just off the. I don't know what you guys, what planet you're living on, really. You guys are not. You guys are living in a different reality, and I can assure you, if you guys and people talk about, there's a chasm between Jews in Israel and Jews in America. Yeah, because Jews in Israel live in a reality, in reality, in the reality. They don't live in the illusion of security and safety. It is secure here, Baruch Hashem, for the most part. But we don't live in illusions. We don't live in a kind of a mindset of like, well, we're safe and blah blah blah. I think the Jews at least are realizing that in America that they're not fully safe, right? That the days kind of are numbered. That's a different conversation, right? He's been another way. Yeah, let's go for Biden. Listen, it's astounding, my friends, but it can only be. And if you guys ask the question like, what can you attribute this to? What can you attribute this malfunction in the American Jewish psyche? The only thing I can say, and I was explaining this to a friend of mine yesterday, that if you guys know the midrash of how many Jews left Mitzrayim, Egypt, when Moshe Rabbeinu came to them and said, the time of the Geula is here, and sadly, 4 out of 5 of them stayed back. They stayed back and they died in the darkness, and they didn't understand. They were so blinded by the so to speak, what they thought was, I guess, comfort and safety, but they didn't understand that it was at least psychological, if not physical slavery, right? So they'd rather wallow in that slavery, and they stayed back and they died in the darkness. So only 20% left. So now you guys are asking, how is it that 75% of Jews in America vote Democrat? I always say we're about 5% ahead of the curve. We're not doing that well, but we're doing a little bit better than we did in Mitzrayim in that respect. So yeah, my friends. I mean, it's just really astounding to listen to. And I saw a video today it was a video that was posted by the organization Im Tirtzu, and they found an old video. I guess it was when John Kerry was maybe the Secretary of State, or maybe it was a year after Trump was elected. It was actually Kerry speaking at the Saban Forum. Chaim Saban. This is a guy, a billionaire, who's a big, donor to the Clintons and has all these leftists, whatever it is, right? So Kerry says, I keep hearing that these people are going to make deals with all these Arab countries around, and I will tell you, I can assure you that none of this will happen without first figuring out the Palestinian issue, blah, 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 blah. My friends, see, even without seeing that everything that just happened with Bahrain and UAE and all these, and Sudan and all these other countries and Oman and whatever it is, I could have told you in the year 2015 and even in the year 2010 and even in the year 2005 and even in the year 2001, I could have told you the following, that the Saudis and the Emiratis and the Bahrainis and pretty much every single nation state in the Arab world thinks that my neighbors over here, the people who, quote unquote, the Palestinians, are, I I hate to use the word poop kickers, but that's what they consider them. Okay? So it was only logical that any person who would understand that, any actual leader who would understand that dynamic, and would be honest with himself and honest with everybody else, would actually seek to make peace with these nation states and say, listen, let's just bypass this whole Palestinian issue. I know you guys are using them as a pawn, and I know you guys don't think so highly of them. If you did, you would have taken them in. Syria would have taken them in. Jordan would have given them rights. 80% of Jordan is Palestinian tribesmen. Lebanon would not would not apartheid them and force them to not, Palestinian kids cannot go to a school, a Lebanese school in Beirut. They can only go to a Palestinian-only school. Palestinian kids cannot go to a Alawite school in Syria and so forth. They wouldn't do that to them if they consider them as equals, but they don't consider them equals. They consider them beneath them, right, my friends? So it took a leader to come along and say, listen, this is not about them. This is about you in Israel. You guys have been doing business under the table with Israel for a very long time. Let's say we do business over the table, on the table. Like, legitimate business. Let's stop, this charade, this cat and mouse game. Let's just do some business. And you know what, my friends? Kushner and Trump and Bibi came to the table, and they said, and Greenblatt and all those other people, they said, we have a comprehensive plan, and let's do this. And they did it. And now John Kerry and all these other people at the Brookings Institution and the Saban Forum are eating their shoe, and it's eating them alive. They're eating their hearts out, my friends. They're eating their hearts out to know that this bad orange man came along and he managed to make a deal with a bunch of these Arab nation states, and now supposedly Israel, more or less, has some kind of economic, if not ideological agreements with these countries. We can fly over these countries, we can fly to these countries, we can do business with them openly. My friends, this is a new era. We're in a new era right now. We're in an era of reconciliation between Ishmael and Yitzhak. And as you guys know from Rabbi Kessin, right now there's an internal struggle within Esav himself. And one second, somebody is calling me. Okay. And there's an speaking of Rabbi Kessin, somebody from Rabbi Kessin's staff just called me. And there's internal struggle within Esav himself. And oh gosh. And he's trying to do the tikkun. He's trying to reconcile with Yaakov. And there's a part of Esav that doesn't want that. So, my friends, that's where we're at. And the sooner our friends, the Jewish people in America, those 80% or 75%, understand all that, the better it will be for them. And if they don't, and if they choose to have their heads where, up there where, they can't say they weren't warned. They can't say that nobody tried to, put them on the right path, to educate them. It is what it is, my friends. And, when the stuff hits the fan, they should not go crying to the people who knew and who were telling them the right things. All right, my friends. So that's the end of my first live on this wonderful platform. And interestingly enough, it did not collapse. So, Baruch Hashem. Contrary to what happened on Facebook. So I guess we can conclude that Facebook have officially zapped this channel, or on Facebook, not here. So, Baruch Hashem. Israel isn't dealing with the guy next door. Yep, Middle East. But, yeah, you're absolutely right, my friend. Okay, my friends. Laila Tov, and we'll catch you on the flip side.